Hey there, and welcome to Real Brides. This is the podcast where we sit down with recently married brides to talk all things wedding, with real advice from brides who have been there, done that, and want to help you do it better. I'm Rosanna with Shotwell Productions, New Jersey's highest rated photography and videography company. Let's dive in. Welcome, Shelby and Jatil. Thank you so much for being on our podcast and talking about our wedding. And, we've got a couple of subjects that we're going to go over. When was your wedding? Do you remember? Am I putting Jatil on the spot?
Which one?
So I know you guys have a blend of culture, right? So we have an American beauty over here, and then we have our Indian stud, Jatil. So then it was like a real mix of cultures, right? So you guys really having like 3 weddings, kind of.
Yeah. So, we had the Indian wedding December 16th,
Okay.
and then we had the American wedding February 16th, and we had some sprinkled ceremonies throughout with the Indian wedding.
Awesome. I know. I really love doing Indian weddings because they're so colorful and there's so much culture and tradition in it. I will admit that I don't always know what's going on. But
we
don't either.
There's usually someone saying something I don't understand, and there's some kind of fire and lots of spices and colors and flowers and things like that.
Right.
And I know it's
a lot of rice.
That's right. A lot of rice.
Coconut.
Yeah, coconut. That's right. I feel like maybe a pineapple should be in there. Like we could make a drink.
Yeah, the more the merrier.
That's awesome. So I really wanted to talk to you guys about like the blending of the two cultures, right? Because sometimes it could be like really fun and very beautiful, but it can also be really stressful because there's a lot of expectations culturally, traditionally, and you've got to like you got to have to kind of compromise in between. So tell me a little bit more about, the ceremonial parts and things like
why don't you start and I'll follow you?
So, I think the beginning, like the initial planning phase was the most difficult, just trying to make sure obviously we want to respect our culture, but we also at the same time want to keep it very modern and like a little bit more about us than, our parents type of deal. So I think that's what led to the idea of splitting it into 2 ceremonies. Like that way, my parents got what they wanted and our side of the family got that. And then her side of the family got what they wanted. And there was no like, hey, you can't do this. You can't do this. Or like, look, we're keeping everyone happy by almost separating it. But at the same time, trying to like mix them together was kind of the idea on that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I kind of just went off of Jatil on that. I think we kind of realized very early on that we, together wanted something very different that wasn't a traditional Indian wedding with the ceremony. So we definitely worked with, the in-laws, his parents, and we just said, look, we will do an entire wedding ceremony, whatever you want, but then we're going to do this other thing. And that's what it is.
So you normally, like when we have shot like Indian weddings, it's like days and hours. And honestly, I don't even know how grandma has the energy to wake up really early, do all the ceremonial things, take a short break in the middle of the day, and then party until the wee hours of the morning and then do it again the next day. But you guys sound like you did more of something like more abridged, a little shorter, more condensed, more meaningful.
Correct. So we did essentially, we kind of like kept it to the important things just because we knew like the February wedding was going to be such a party. We kind of made the Indian wedding a little bit more traditional and kept it to the ceremonies and more about like the spiritual stuff. Just for, those who don't know, the way they pick the date and time is they get our star charts together and they overlay them. And then that's how the date and time is based.
Yeah. And we always get the best times. And I say that very sarcastically.
Because we had to get married at like 7 something. It was like specific. It was like 7:48 a.m.
I had to wake
like
up
the
at
ceremony start.
3 a.m. to get ready. Yeah. Like it was insane because we had to be married at a very, very specific time.
Shelby, were you able to dress more traditionally in Indian sari and things like that?
Yeah. So, it's always different. There's a lot that goes into the religion and certain traditions, even down to like jewelry, what you have to wear, even hairstyle. So
Really?
I got a little leniency on that, thankfully, from my mother-in-law. But even the wedding ceremony, I don't remember like the name of it, but the top was like a little longer. So I was able to go a little longer on the top, because I'm not always like super comfortable in, showing a lot. I'm a little bit more conservative. And then
Fair.
hairstyle, I still put it back, but I think traditionally you have to do like completely all the way back with a really long braid, and they put something in your hair.
Jasmine
So
flowers, right? There's like they smell really pretty.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And even to the gold jewelry, like the earrings, they are like the post is very thick. So I had to like train my ears to even get the earrings in and the jewelry.
I like his little shoulder giggle over there, like, yeah.
It's
Even
a process.
the bracelets wouldn't fit me. So I had to get like specific bracelets. There's so much that goes into it that you wouldn't even think of.
So typically Indian weddings, the bride wears red, like that's
Yeah.
the white of an Indian wedding. But then the jewelry all has a meaning to it. So it's
Mhm.
supposed to be her birthstone, my birthstone, the parents' birthstone. It's like so there's like a layer to it. And then the henna that you see like the Indian
Mhm.
brides wear. So the right side is her story and her family. The left side is my story and my family. And when you put your hands together, it's supposed to form our names. So like there's actually like a whole thing
Yeah.
to it and how it's designed and like depending on who you are, like it's very intricate.
Yeah.
And like luckily we just were able to
Oh,
kind of
the Mendy.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did that. Yeah.
And it's very
yeah,
elaborate because I know sometimes the Mendy artist will like hide his name
Yeah.
in,
yep,
Yeah.
it's like a skill to find it, you know?
yep.
Yeah, and it took a really long time because
I think it was like 5 or 6 hours
I
like
had to get it
for it
done
to
twice
like be done.
because I
Yeah.
wasn't thinking, and I did a spray tan so it wouldn't like
Stick.
stick. So the poor artist had to come over and redo everything like the day before the wedding. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so there were little hiccups in trying to
Yeah.
incorporate the culture, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I know sometimes there's also I don't know what exactly it's called, but there is a ceremony where you were painted in turmeric.
Yeah, so we really didn't want to do all that. So we did it privately at my parents' house. So we did it very, very small where it was just like immediate family and that's about it. I think we had maybe like 10, 12 people there.
Okay.
So like we did it to an extent, but we were like the timing of it was a little insane. So we were like, we can't douse ourselves in it and then get ready for the ceremony in 2 days and then
Well, we had the
have
Mendy at the night
yeah, we had
too.
the
Yeah.
Mendy. So like we had a lot going on. So like luckily, like look, my parents were very good in like,
Mhm.
hey, we want this done, but they were being a little flexible on how it was done.
That was really nice.
So
'Cause
that was like the godsend because like I have friends whose parents are like, you're doing it this way, or like you could go find someone else type of deal.
get out of
So
here.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
think they
great.
were really good at giving us some grace
yeah.
on everything.
I love that we talked about like the auspicious dates and times. I didn't realize that it was so exact though. I just thought like, oh, we just picked this day. This is
Mhm.
a good day. No, this is like
Yeah.
math.
No, yeah, we had no choice on the dates. Like it was just there it is, and it just happened to work out. Both dates ended up on the 16th. Like we didn't
Yeah.
plan that.
Hmm.
Like it just was what was available and what kind of happened with the
That's
star charts
amazing.
and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I know that you guys had a shorter kind of ceremony, traditional Indian ceremony, where it's a couple of hours and a lunch,
Yeah.
right? And then you guys had your big American wedding at the Palace in Somerset,
Yep.
February 16th, right? So it's still technically winter,
Yeah.
um,
Yep.
but it's Jersey, so it could be a summer day. Who knows? Uh,
Not on our day.
was it very cold on your wedding day?
It was so cold and windy,
And it started
and
snowing
it
too.
snowed right after. I think after you guys left, it did start snowing, and it didn't say snow at all.
Of course not.
And We had one friend, I thought it was the sweetest thing. He goes, I was born in a freak like snowstorm. And my mom always says, like, when things are like meant to be, like the best things happen, kind of out of nowhere. And I just thought that was so sweet because like no one predicted any snow on our wedding day at all.
It's where so apparently rain and snow in like Asian tradition is a good thing on your wedding day.
Oh,
so like you know the saying tie the knot?
Yes.
So in Indian ceremonies at the end, we literally tie a knot between us on our two outfits. And when it rains, it gets wet and it's harder to pull it apart. So it literally was like tie the knot. So it was just kind of like interesting how it happened.
Just forever. Oh my gosh. I love that.
A long time.
Yeah.
I had way more hair a year ago when you saw me. It's a lot.
Now your back hurts.
He's just so battered over here.
You made it through the most important day of your life. Now you can fall apart, I guess. It'll be okay.
Quite literally.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, I know like your parents, Jatil, obviously this is their culture. These are their traditions. So they know better like what's going on and what's included. But your parents, Shelby, were they at the Indian ceremony and how did they feel about that? Did they share anything with you?
I know my dad and, my brother, they were just so involved and happy to be there. I actually found that all of my family and all of my friends were way more excited to do the Indian wedding and everything that had to do with that as opposed to the American wedding. They could have cared less.
We got way more people asking us if they could get an invite to the Indian wedding than for the American wedding because we kept it like between the two weddings, it was like almost 350 people, like separate people. So like we had to like kind of like pick and choose at times. And we had so many of her family and friends, my friends who were like, can we come to that?
And we're like, the party's going to be in February.
You're like, you have to wait, but like, why do you think they wanted to go? Do you think it's like the food? Do you think they were just like
just the unknown? I think I don't know how. Like,
well, so it's like I grew up in a town that was very Italian.
Yeah.
So it's like I had a lot of like my close friends are like Italian, American. So it's like they always want to see the Indian ceremony and be a part of it. Especially with like how big Bollywood's gotten over the last few years. So I feel like they were like, yeah, I really want to see this. And I'm like, great, but I only have so much space to give. Yeah. So it was like an interesting mix.
I just feel like just in society and in America, everyone it's so much more open and accepted, I feel like. So people are just so excited because growing up, like, this was pretty much my first experience. I have a friend that went through it as well. Her husband's Indian, but I think just as a whole, like white people just don't know. You don't know, and you want to be a part of it because I think too, like we don't have as much culture and traditions as you guys. So it's fun and it's new and exciting and they want to be a part of it and just party.
It's good to feel like supported from both sides, right? So like you're like, I didn't think you'd want to come to this, but okay.
Yeah. We were very surprised at that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Awesome. Now I know that you guys had the more traditional Indian wedding with his parents. How did his parents do with the American side of the wedding? Like, were they having a good time? They cutting loose?
My parents, I don't think they were driving home at all. Like they were having the time of their lives.
Yeah.
So like there's so many photos of them where it's just blurry. And I'm like, okay, so like you guys were just having a great time
of your life.
So
I mean, when we had seen them after, like my father-in-law, he was blown away. I think the wedding and all the thought that we had put into it and little things, like he absolutely loved it. Same thing with your mom, but
I think we got married a year and a half ago, and then we were with friends yesterday, and they were still like, your wedding was so memorable. Like people still bring it up to us.
Yeah,
and it's like we just did such a good job. Yeah, like both of us, like it was just very 50-50 on how we did it.
That is like the biggest compliment when someone's like 10 years later, they're like, your wedding. Woo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or they're still trying to piece it together. They're like, what happened? We had such a good time.
I think some people are still trying to piece
Oh
stuff
yeah,
together.
100%.
Okay, so thank you guys so much for talking about, the cultural mix of mixing of, two different types of people, and really just focusing in on the Indian side of the wedding. So I want to thank you guys so much for being part of our podcast. It's been a pleasure, and we will see you guys at the next one.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is it for this episode of Real Brides. If you found something helpful, make sure to follow, subscribe, or share it with someone who is planning their I do. We have new episodes every week packed with more real talk from real brides. No filters, just facts. Thanks for listening and happy planning.